Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash, and the Bible said those great mills, so I let you truth. And also to the whole elect that's scattered abroad. I like to say, shalom, and come back here today with another great powerful lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So the title of today's lesson is, It Shall Go Ill in His Tabernacle. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to true power, which in fact is Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So that about whose tabernacle are we talking about? We're talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And that about it, his economy is constantly collapsing. The end of the dollar. America is constantly decaying. And that about it, we knowing that the Lord is visiting the earth that he created. Also, we're seeing that we're in this transition of power. And the Lord is getting ready to overthrow Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Esau is the end of this earth age. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. So we're seeing that over in Georgia, the Georgia Guidestone. We're seeing that lightning hit it, and all of a sudden they took the whole thing down. Now everybody they destroyed the whole thing. And that about over in Rome, at the Vatican, fires are over there. So fires are burning across the world. And that is the spirit of the Lord that's moving through the earth. He is visiting the earth that he created. Also, the end is being manifest. And that about it, the Lord gave him that sword. And the Lord is getting ready to take that sword out of his hand. And that about it, so we're in that transition of power. And that about it's going ill in his tabernacle. And that about America is what? Feeble. America is weak. America is frail. And also the heathen nation are what? They're imagining what? A vain thing. And that about they're bucking up all these other heathen nations. And that about, it's rumors of wars all over the place. And that about, Ezekiel chapter 38 is popping off the page. And also America constantly poking at the bear. And that about, we are weak. And that about, so we're here. The great day of the Lord is fast approaching. Also, when you read about it in Revelation chapter 17, that that they shall hate the whore, and that about exactly what's happening. Don't want no one want to have anything to do with AK Babylon the Great, and that about they are finished with the dollar, and that about they don't want to have anything to do with. They want to destroy this place with that fervent heat. That's the indignation of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So the title of the day's lesson once again is "It Shall Go Ill in His Tabernacle." So we get started with two quick video clips. And at the video clip, we will start the lesson, and I hope that you get edified by the lesson today. And here's the first one. One moment.
I think we have too much more time left to prepare. So many things are happening so quick together. The Vatican is on fire. Now, why do you think that would happen? What do they have to hide? What's underneath the Vatican? A lot of cattle is being sold right now because there's no water. Do you guys see what's coming? Do you feel what's coming? I don't even think I need to say anymore.
I have one more.
Do not have a military today that can fight a large-scale ground war in Europe. I'll say it one more time because this is important. We do not have a military today that can fight a large-scale ground war in Europe. And yet, what is the president positioning us to do? Fight a large-scale ground war in Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, if we fight the Russians, we will lose. We will lose hands down. It won't even be close. NATO doesn't exist anymore. Oh, it's there as an organization. When I was in, the British had the British Army on the Rhine. 80,000 guys, highly trained. Today, they barely have 80,000 guys in their entire military. Ask the Brits to put together a brigade and send it out their island into Europe. They can't do it. They can't do it. Do not have a military today.
So I hope you enjoyed the two videos. And I deal about it that it's showing you that America is feeble. America is frail. America is weak. And that about it, to go to, when you go into Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 10, have they become weak as us? And that about the other nation. And that about it, the heathens are constantly raging. And that about it, that we are here. And that about it, America military is weak. America government is weak. The infrastructure, everything. This place is crumbling. It's constantly decaying. It's constantly collapsing. And that about the great dear Lord is fast to approach. That recompense and judgment is right upon us. And that about we're in that transition of power. And that about we seeing it right before our eyes. So all sorts of ill things are going wrong in his tabernacle. So what he has trying to perform is constantly turned upon his own head, and we seeing it real time. So so the idea about it though, his plans are getting aggravated, and the idea about it, we knowing that the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. But the idea about it, he will not be able to perform his enterprise. So now, let's go to let's get started in the book of Proverbs. One moment. Let's get started in the book of Proverbs, chapter 14 and verse 11, and it reads, "The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish." So that about the Lord is overthrowing this man's rulership, his government, all, the things that he's trying to perform, he will not be able to perform. It's not about he at the end of his range. And not about it, he has a minute, a second, days that he abounds that he cannot pass. And not about it, this is that transition power. Esau is the end of this earth age. So the Lord is overthrowing this wicked kingdom, this temporal world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follow, that righteous kingdom that's going to flourish with what? With righteousness. The world without end, the kingdom of heaven. And that's what exactly what's going on. So this place is becoming weak, feeble, very frail. And that about it, that, every nation is getting ready to come upon us. And that about it, we are weak as piss water. And that about it, we have a weak leader. So it's a lot of things that are going on. This place is divided and it cannot stand. So a lot of things are happening. And that about it, that is the spirit of the Lord. And the end is being manifested right before our eyes. So now, let's get another quick precept before we open up the lesson. Let's start the lesson. Let's go to Job chapter 18. One moment. Job chapter 18. One moment. Job chapter 18 and what verse I want to start at? At verse 5. Job chapter 18 and verse 5. And it reads, "Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine." Verse 6, "The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him." And that about the Lord is putting out the light in his tabernacle. And that about it, he's constantly making his inner structure, his rulership very weak. And that about it, his wisdom, he's losing his wisdom. And that about it, all his sorceries and all his black magic is not working anymore. And that about it, so he at the end of his reign. And that about it, so the idea about it, he is trying to scramble. He's trying to will the birthright back to himself, but it will not work. And that about he constantly imagine a vain thing. And that about it, the only thing that is getting ready to happen, he's getting ready to go into slavery for 1,000 years. And after slavery, he's getting ready to be destroyed. And that about he is the wrath fitted for destruction. And that about it, we seeing that the Lord is putting out the light in his candle, putting out the light in his tabernacle. Each and every day, we seeing, all the things that's going on in the world. We seeing that that the economy is constantly diminishing. We seeing that this place is divided. We're seeing that, society is breaking down. We're seeing a lot of things that's going on. Rumors of wars are all over the place. World War III is brewing. And that about we keeping our eyes on what? On Israel. And that about it, we knowing that, the least of the flock shall bring them out. So we're in that time. We're in these turbulent times. So the second war has passed and the third war come quickly. It's right at the door. So now, let's start back up. Job chapter 18, we'll start back up at verse 7, and it reads, "The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down." Verse 8, "For he is cast unto a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare." So that about it, whatever he's plotting for us, he's going to fall into that net. And that about it, we cannot wait. The Lord is doing a mighty work. We seeing it right before our eyes. And that about it, we seeing that, he constantly scrambling. He's constantly rushing, trying to perform that NWO, that WHO, all these things he's trying to perform. And also Revelation chapter 13, 15 through 18, you would not be able to buy or sell if you don't have that, what. So that about it, he's constantly constantly trying to devise his evil plans. And that about we're not ignorant of Satan's device. And that about the Lord is visiting the earth that he created. And that about he's setting up righteous, You know what I'm saying? And out about it, we seeing that it's flourishing. And out about it, this gospel had been preached throughout the four corners of the earth. And out about it, and also the men of the Lord, they're standing on their feet. And out about it, the great fear is falling upon these heathen nations. And out about it, we're ready to end. And out about it, we knowing that the kingdom of heaven is right at hand. So now, let's go to Isaiah chapter 47. Isaiah chapter 47, one moment. Just a quick lesson through the Spirit. Isaiah chapter 47. Isaiah chapter 47. And we'll start at verse 3. And it reads, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. And I about it that, we seeing that, all his evil scheme, his plans are coming to light. We seeing that they have emails out on Joe Biden's son. A lot of things are coming out about them. They're pedophiles. They drink blood. So a lot of things is being revealed. So everything that was covered is being uncovered. And that about it, the Lord is putting the spotlight on Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. So everybody is beginning to find out who is the devil, that the Bible speaks of. And everybody finding out that it's the so-called white man, Esau Edom. And everybody said, what I'm saying? So, he's been uncovered. He's been made. And everybody that he's scrambling. And everybody said, what I'm saying? His time is running out. It is payday. The Lord is getting ready to bring that righteous judgment. And everybody, we cannot wait. Recompense and judgment is right upon us. So now, we start back up in Isaiah chapter 47, and we'll start back up one moment. We'll start back up at verse 7, and it reads, and thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay the thing to thy heart or thy mind, neither didst remember the latter end of it. So that we at the latter end of it. And that about is that, what I'm saying, just like you go to Obadiah chapter 1, and it tell you, the pride of his heart has deceived him. And that about is that, what I'm saying, he's seeing that, what I'm saying, he beginning to have problems. And that about it, his great fears is falling upon him. He's getting very agitated. You're seeing that he trying to throw away all the food in the store, saying there's no more good. He's blowing up all these processing plants. You know what I'm saying? These refineries telling you that food shortage, telling you that that the diesels will be short, messing with the truck driver, trying to bring down the food supply chain line. And everybody said, this is what he's trying to perform. We knowing that these are his devices, but he's getting ready to fall upon his own device. So the Lord is setting a trap for him. And everybody that he is in for a rude awakening. So that everybody that, he's walking in great pride, but the Lord is getting ready to bring him very low. And everybody, it will go ill in his tabernacle. So now let's start back up. Isaiah chapter 47, we'll start back up at verse 8. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art giving to pleasure, that dwellest carelessly, that says in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. And everybody, he read upon judgment. And everybody, he's imagine a vain thing that he's thinking that he's going to stay in rulership forever. But everybody said the Lord is getting ready to cut him off. And everybody, and you read about it in Isaiah chapter 14, though he exalt his nest among the stars, the Lord said he will bring him down. And we're in that time. We're in the latter end. The Lord is getting ready to cut him off forever. He will not be able to rule a damn thing anymore. He's going back in his first estate. He is the base man of the earth. He's violent in the earth. And the Lord is getting ready to put him back. He was only meant to be a servant in the first place. So now, let's start back up. Isaiah chapter 47. We'll start back up at verse 9. And it reads, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood, and they shall come upon thee, and in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thy enchantment. Verse 10, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none sees me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it has perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. So that everybody, he's trying to play God. And the Lord said, I would let until he be taken out the way. So that about we at that time, he's getting ready to be taken out the way. And he trusting all his pseudo side, his AI, and everybody that, his pseudo salvation, but he will not be able to perform his enterprise. And everybody, by his sorcery, he deceived the nation. But that about the Lord is getting ready to bring him low. Woo! We're living in some exciting time. So now, Isaiah chapter 47, we'll start back up at verse 12. And it reads, stand now with thy enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorcery, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to perform. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Verse 13, thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsel. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, and the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. And everybody's there, there are black magic not working. There's secret councils are not working. And everybody, the Lord is making him bear each and every day. Everybody's finding out who is the wicked. And everybody's finding out he's causing all of this mayhem and all this wickedness upon the earth. It is the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. So that everybody that he would not be able to perform his enterprise because the Lord is interrupting his plan and everybody through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So now we start back up at Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 14. Behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Verse 15, thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchant from thy youth. They shall wander every one of his quarter, none shall save him, shall save thee. So the idea about it is that, it's getting ready to go ill in his tabernacle, so none of his witchcraft is working. None of his wise counsel is coming together. And everybody, he's seeing that everything that he's trying to perform is not working out. He did not get enough numbers of the And everybody, he's constantly devising another plan. He's speeding up the process. And everybody, because he's knowing that his time is very short. And everybody, the Lord is getting ready to bring that indignation. The IBCM missile, he's getting ready to level this place. The indignation of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And everybody, this place is getting ready to be destroyed with fervent heat. And everybody, he's walking with great pride, but the Lord is getting ready to bring him low. So now, let's go to one moment. Let's go to our last and final strip. Just a quick lesson through the Spirit. Let's go to Psalm chapter 21. One moment. Psalm chapter 21. One moment. We'll close out here. Psalm chapter 21. One moment. Psalm chapter 21. Just a quick lesson through the Spirit. And I hope that you got edified by the lesson today. Psalm chapter 21 and verse, let's start up at verse 11. Psalm chapter 21 and verse 11. And it reads, thy hand shall find out all thy enemies. Thy right hand shall find out those that hate thee. Verse 9, thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thy anger. The Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. Verse 10, their fruit shall thou destroy from the earth, and their seed from among the children of men. And everybody's talking about Esau Edom, the so-called white man. The Lord is getting ready to wipe him off the face of the earth. And everybody's, it's getting ready to go very ill in his tabernacle. And everybody, his rulership is falling. And everybody, he's trying to scratch and claw. But everybody, his time is up. And the Lord's getting ready to set that righteous kingdom forever and forever. And everybody, everyone is finding out who is this man that's keeping all this ruckus upon the earth. And everybody, the Lord is getting ready to set up that righteous kingdom. All this deceivingness and all this wickedness is getting ready to be quenched. And everybody, the Lord is getting ready to cleanse this place and set up that righteous kingdom forever and forever. And everybody, the truth is being declared through the men of the Lord. We are signing and crying left and right, constantly warning you. And everybody, we're here. We is at the door. So rejoice ye heaven. So now, let's start back up. Psalm chapter 21, and we'll start back up at verse 11. For they intended evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device which they are not able to perform. And they will not be able to perform because the Lord is getting ready to return. And that he is at the end of his earth age, the end of his heaven, his end of his rulership. And that he don't want to go quietly in the night. So he is getting ready to lose his mind. But the Lord is getting ready to come and snatch him out of rulership. The Lord gave him that sword. And the Lord is getting ready to take that sword back. And we read upon World War III, and we read upon the great and glorious return of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. We seeing all the mighty work that the Lord is doing. We seeing that, those fires, over in Rome. We seeing that what happened with the Georgia Guidestone. We seeing that, he couldn't get the number on the hokey pokey. We seeing all these things constantly it's not being performed. The thing that he had meant for us is turned against him. And we cannot wait. The Lord is getting ready to return and set things back into order. So the title of the day's lesson, once again, is It Shall Go Ill in His Tabernacle. So I like to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rekakadash. I like to say, Shalom.